Hello, collective. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. It is November 27th, 2025. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope that, I know that this day is controversial for many. However, you know, it is a conscious reminder to be thankful for that, those good things in our life and those lessons we have gained from. As I woke, somebody said, you deserve the name hell because they can't control you. They tried to steal your heaven from you and you gave them hell. I don't know what people expected. They tried to steal your heaven, and I don't understand why they would be surprised. It's amazing to me how many out there believe that people don't take their lives seriously. That they don't believe that people believe their lives are worth fighting for or defending. Of course, everybody's been programmed with fear for so long, and they've been saturated with, you know, intentional chaos for so long. But you pulled yourself together and you kept your heaven. You gave them hell, and now they're in regret. Now they're in regret. Because you're going on a new journey. And you've got a whole bunch of light in you. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. And these people are afraid of your strength and the fact that you're calling judgment on them. They're stuck in the middle. And they have to go find a new path. And they're getting a 10 of swords for everything that they did to you. The need for vengeance is in the history, saith the Lord, and you're coming into your dream come true. Off the bottom of the deck. Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, what do we got for the family? What do we got for the collective this morning, please? Collective, storyline, planetary. What's going on in the planet? What's happening, Spirit? What's going on, please? Four of Cups. Somebody's got a negative outlook. They're not happy with what they're being offered. In the challenge position. Nine of Swords. They're in a nightmare. In the subconscious. Nine of Pentacles reversed. They made a bad investment. They didn't get your life of luxury. They wanted your comfortable status in this new cycle, and they did not get it. Instead, you gave them hell. See, they wanted you to have a low vibrational suffering experience of lack, and they wanted to take from you what you have earned in this beautiful life. And, you know, they failed. They failed. In the recent past, Queen of Cups. You're emotionally stable, you're loving, you're kind, and you're generous. And you had some folks out there trying to paint you as a terrorist so that they could say you weren't worthy of this reward. They wanted you to be full of malice. They wanted you to seek vengeance. They wanted you to be seen as a blight in the world so that they could take your reward from you. But you stayed balanced. You stayed loving. You stayed balanced. You stayed loving. It's time for you to heal. And you're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're very determined to live your life. You're not giving it up. You're very defensive when it comes to your energy, your life, your ability to live as God intended you. You've got all of these freaking people out there trying to come in and swarm you like freaking yellow jackets or ants or whatever, and just consume you, you know? It's freaking weird. It's exactly what it's like. It's like you had all these ants or all these little yellow jackets swarming you, wanting to devour you so that they could be you, consume you energetically, and then take everything that belonged to you. But you're like, I'm not going down. In the near future, we've got this Two of Pentacles, so there could be some things going on. The lens is being looked through. Three of Wands in the upright. You've got the foresight, and you're successful. Your ships are coming in. The sun is rising up over that horizon there. You got your little headband on, ready to get your workout. So you got 3 wands and 3 ships. In the environment, the Empress and the 8 of Wands. The Empress could be making an announcement over the airwaves. The Empress is making, is taking direct action. Something is happening very swiftly. Hopes and fears, competition. I also heard this morning a couple of masculines discussing whether or not they will be able to recognize her. It seems to me that they still have hopes of coming in and clubbing you over the head like a fish and then putting you in their little bucket and taking you home. But we've got a completion of a cycle here. It's a world event. The world is going to settle down. We're going to lay things to rest. We're going to take a break. We're going to settle, make plans for the future, and we're letting go of those who have been working against our happy family reunion. King of Cups is victorious. King of Pentacles is here. Strength of 2 together. So we've got lots of love of divine masculine. He's got the wealth. And he's got a public victory. He could already be in partnership. Or perhaps he has won a battle for partnership. For the actual right to be 2 as 1, building a legacy. You're very generous. The Hierophant is being very generous. According to the research, is your abundance. So he said the need for vengeance is in the history. Also, the need for reward is and charity is in the history. He's done his research. He knows who is who, and how your garden has grown. He knows how your garden has grown. Mary, Mary, how does your garden grow? It's quite early, surprisingly. I mean, typically it's a work day, so my body and I guess my mind is raring to go. It is so quiet this morning. So those who had been brutalizing people in their mental body with all of this chaos, these stupid little soap operas of suffering, it seems to me that it's about to end. Those devils of the mind that had intruded in the space of consciousness, they're losing their clairs, is what they said yesterday. Or they were like, no clairs? So all of these people who had been using their clairs to find the Empress, to find the Emperor, and then to gang up on them and whack them in the head with sticks, that's coming to a completion. It's over. They got to stop forcing themselves in on the minds of these beautiful people. So they're upset because they have a negative outlook regarding commitment. They're not getting what they want. They wanted your life of luxury, but they wanted to F you up and take it from you and leave you there crying. And now they're upset because they didn't get it. So they're in a nightmare. 9 of Swords, a nightmare. They can't sleep. They've lost everything for coming for you. You were feeding them. You were housing them. On the spiritual sense, they were pulling from your account and having a great life and laughing while they were coming up unseen, whacking you and making certain, Empress, that you did not get to receive anything that was yours. Enjoy anything that was yours. God was upset. He's like, that, never give it back. You will never give it back. God is tired of this Empress being taken advantage of and having all of her beautiful goodness taken from her while everybody throws shit at her. That's stupid. She doesn't have to serve these people who hate her anymore. We've got caution. So they're in a nightmare. They're having anxiety. They're in fear because they have failed to take your 9 of Pentacles. They still hope to identify you in the 3D and then come in and whack you in the head. Okay, so they have failed. They made a bad investment. They thought brutalizing the mother was going to get them some kind of heavenly reward. They really did. These invader species posing as men. They really thought if they could come and brutalize the mother that they could take all of that reward that she needed to nurture this family. And then they could just go out and be little whores and continue on with their prostitution rings. They were lied to. Queen of Cups is here. She's emotionally and mentally stable. She's not in chaos. This chaos of brutalization that they wanted to lay upon her, she was able to keep her cool, even when all of these men who were supposed to protect her decided to destroy her. Liar. She knows who there, so she's being careful of somebody sneaky. This Queen of Cups is looking out for the liar, because she's in a 9 of Wands, battle worn, ready to heal energy. She's in her Queen of Wands energy. She's very determined to live her life. She's very passionate for this life. She's not giving it up to any freaking hoe bag, masculine invader species, this intelligent animal coming along like they are God and they deserve everything in the world. No, you don't. No, you freaking don't. We've got Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Empress, and no, you don't deserve what she's got. Like, no, she's not a third-party hoe. She's not part of this invasive species that's coming in trying to flip families into same-sex unions. She's very passionate for her life. She's very passionate for her love. This is the mother figure, and she's not into this trans stuff. She likes the way the Most High God Creator and Mother Father Creators did it. There's nothing wrong with the way it was done. It does not need to be transformed. Two of Pentacles, balance. You got a lot of things going on. We've got communication. Somebody could be juggling things. They might be having difficulty managing their life because you're no longer there to catch their big bags of shit that they keep producing. You're successful here with the Three of Wands. You've got this opportunity, Empress. The sun is rising. Your ships are in and you're birthing new opportunities. The Empress is here. Creatively abundant, and we've got direct action, rapid events. Something has happened very swiftly for the Empress, for the mother. Could be the planetary mother. Health. Health. Rapid events. Health. Health issues could arise. Five of Wands. Somebody's still out there wanting to come in and bring chaos to your world. They want to be aggressive with you. They still feel this is a competition. These people want you to open your heart to them. Wait, I love you. Yeah, sure. The World. This is a completion of that. They want to bring you a health issue. They need you to open your heart so that they can come in and like stick knives in it. They need you to let your guard down, your shields. This is a completion of that cycle with confused sexuality. It's done. We're not dealing with this anymore. We've got entities out there in some other dimension where all there are is men, and their women have penises, and they have time looped or kind of dropped in to this environment, and they were planning on flipping everybody into this kind of circumstance, right? They wanted to take over this planet, and they wanted pod babies. They got these technological little pods that they grow, and they wanted to put the spirit and soul of humanity into their little robots with the little clear bellies so you could see the baby growing. Ew, like they could do it better. I don't know. It's kind of whacked. You've done your research, fire sign. You're not even ignoring anything at all. You and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. There is time. You're giving it time, because you're experiencing a breakup still with all of these abusers that have been bringing you chaos. So you're unavailable. Move on is what date night says. There's a water sign gold digger that wants to come and move in with you. They're trying to manifest an intimate moment so that they can move into your house. You are protected from this narcissist trying to come in and get a honeymoon with you. Their new honeymoon phase is to go back. Yeah, be patient. This was upside down. They'll be back. And this on the other side said good things come to those who wait. So yeah, they're going back. They're not getting any good things. these pets, or you, who they have viewed as pets for the slaughter, for the energy harvest, for their magical power, you're letting them go. You're letting them go. They took a gamble with you. There's a lot of confessions going on, and they're having challenges with these stupid little love spells. Relationship is their most prevalent weapon in this war against families, against beautiful mother, father, children in a steady house with generations of growth, of life. See, these ones who are the trans, they get one life cycle, right? Because they can't procreate, or, you know, and they got to trap the divine feminine because that's where the ova comes from. And they wanted to trap this divine feminine and get rid of the divine masculines so that they could take over pregnancy and birth and what kind of entity gets to live here in this environment. It's wild to me. So there is a negative outlook. Somebody is apathetic regarding commitment and curse. Things are getting serious. They were committed to cursing you. They were committed to cursing unions, relationships, marriages. Everyone's fear just takes on a life of its own. No good can come from this. Steer clear. So somebody is contemplating getting a commitment with somebody so that they can curse them. They are a walking curse. Be careful what you lay with and what you let into your energy. They're in a 9 of Swords nightmare. They can't sleep. We've got caution. They're suspicious of everybody being a part of this coven of sadists who have broken minds. Like, their minds are broken. And they're suspicious of everybody now because they've been dealing with this kind of energy where, see, you got this dog or whatever with a human face. So there's scientific experiments. So now they're these intelligent animals are suspicious because they've been dealing with a coven of sadists with broken minds. And so now they're suspicious of everybody. This is an intelligent animal. They're not connected to source. They've been they've been committed to cursing divine feminine. So they come up, they get a relationship with divine feminine, and then they curse her. Now they're suspicious of everybody. All of these intelligent animals are using caution. They could be getting haunted in their dream space. They did not take your life of luxury. They did not take your comfort from you. They tried to destroy your opportunity to be comforted by God, to receive the comfort of the Holy Spirit. They tried to destroy that opportunity for you with their deceit. So this cycle, they're going back to there's these animals. These are intelligent animals. They've been doing scientific genetic experiments. They wanted to dumb down humanity, make them more animal-like, and they wanted to raise up these animals and then make them look human while they go around and devour everything in the world. They love relationship. This stabbing things with their appendage is their favorite weapon of war. Queen of Cups is being careful of someone being sneaky. She knows they're a liar from the other side. She's battle worn and ready to heal. She's in her Queen of Wands energy. She's insisting on living her life. She's keeping her life, and she's not dealing with this malicious behavior, presenting itself as a man, trying to tap in and steal her freaking vital force, her life, her comfort. Book a boogeyman. Somebody, these guys are from the other side, and they are these phantoms. Help me, let me in, let me in. There's these vampires, these men. They're upside down. They love each other. They're cornholios, and they like to come in and tap divine feminine and then siphon out all of her gifts, all of her power, all of that womb power. And then they use it in their magic. These are some shitheel with their little child reading bedtime stories, called up some freaking monster out of the closet and decided to feed them divine feminine so that they could have a life of luxury. And this Queen of Wands is like, not today, you bitch. Not today, you freaking demon-loving bitch. You conjured it up. You go deal with it. You conjured it up. You deal with it. Now, they're juggling. They got a lot of stuff going on. They want to compromise, forgive, work it out. But these are hybrid species. They don't have any empathy. They're not able to feel love. All they can do is use proper words and then pretend while they come up and then want to hook in sexually and drain you of your life force and all of your gifts, all of your comfort, all of your peace. Three of Wands, you're successful and you see what's going on here. Someone's expecting lies. Somebody's lying. I gotta take this off. It's freaking hot. Oh my gosh. The heat. Woo! Woo, honey. So it could be that there's a hybrid species here that's really having difficulty managing their heavy load. They want to compromise and work it out. They called up some freaking phantom out of the freaking boogeyman book. And now they're here. They see your adventure coming up, and we've got pregnancy, lies. They may be lying about being pregnant. They may be lying about being able to be pregnant. It's a facade. It's a pod baby at best, or just a lie. The Empress, we've got the Empress here is taking, she's doing something very swift. We've got health, experience. Very rapid events. In an all or nothing culture that feeds on extremes, in which everything is the absolute best or abject worst, it might be tempting to go many steps beyond. Can any mere mortal's taste match the appetites of the explorer hell-bent on pushing limits yet unknown to most? Is it really worth it? So the Empress is taking direct action regarding health, based on her experience here with these devils and demons feasting on the energy of people. Now, the Empress has had to manage herself while being fed upon by these entities that had cursed her, this divine feminine. Okay, there's many of you out there that hold this sacred mother energy. And so you could be making adjustments regarding health based on your experiences. Like St. John's wort is a wonderful mood stabilizer, but what I did not know, and I recently found out, is that it is also an herb that protects against demonic attack and witchcraft. So it could be something like that. This divine mother has, through her battles and challenges with these feeders from the other side, She has found out things like St. John's wort that protect the health, the temple's health while under attack, while these people are trying to siphon. So it could very well be that she's making changes with that so that they can't access the energy or the vitality of the temple. You know, if there's St. John's wort in the temple and it's a protective herb against magic and demons, then perhaps it's something that ought to be in the temple to better manage the health and the safety. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. We've got 5 of Wands. There's chaos. These people are arguing. And they want you to open your heart. But you're a warrior. They want you to open your heart. You're fighting. You're like, back the F off. You've seen what they've done to your family. In the astral area, I've seen these people prostituting the virgins. And they don't just have to serve one. They got to serve multiple men at the same time, and it pissed me off so bad, especially because when I was summoned there, they were like letting me know that that was my future, you know, so they were letting me know their plans for me while these men stood there in their dresses, you know, prostituting these beautiful young girls. This is the completion of the cycle for this kind of brutality and disturbance among families. It's ridiculous. This is an invasive species. Now, they came to this planet and they decided to tell everybody, hey, free love, just go out and do everything. They've been trying to introduce infidelity, unfaithfulness, and a total destruction of generational wealth, you know, spiritual wealth, energetic wealth, families. They wanted to destroy family because wherever they come from, they don't have that. It's a different system because they don't have the womb power. Wherever they came from, they had to come here and get that power in order to dominate. This is a boogeyman from the book. Some freaking jackwagon, feminine, reading scary stories to their child using their energy to call forth monsters out of the closet. Flight. So they're going to be leaving. They're going to be taking off. This is a completion of dealing with that. And they're going to fly off. They're going to go away. Flight. Flight. You're going to be set free from these ones that slip in with their favorite weapon of war called relationship and drain out the freaking life of luxury, the comfort, everything that you had to offer. See, these men, they don't, whatever dimensional reality they're in, they don't have this kind of stuff. So they came here to destroy the mother and to possess that womb of power and then to create their world from it. They don't want her. They just want the power of the womb. They want to feed on it. They've been feeding on it. And you escaped. You escaped the intelligent animal. You've got friendship with a cat. This cat could represent God. It could represent Bastet, Sekhmet. Take it as it resonates. You know, you got a lot of statues out there with these giant men, and they got the line, and they're like, this is my kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. How's your kitty now? You still like the kitty? Do you still like the kitty? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. All your false walls are coming down. They're already knocked down. And all of those kitties that have been trapped between the actual wall and that false wall are free. And now they're coming out. They're probably chewing your face off. And I'm glad. They cursed Divine Mother. And now everything is in ruins, falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. These ones were committed to cursing the union of divine empresses. in this read, but actually everybody. We've got Nightmare. 9 of Swords, Nightmare. They're using caution. They got to find out more information. They're suspicious of everybody right now. They're a coven of sadists, and their minds are broken. They've lost. They're freaking whacked in the head, cursing everybody. Intelligent animals going around cursing everybody. There's something wrong with their mental faculty. Whatever genetic splicing or improvements they decided to make upon themselves, they curse themselves. And now this curator of human life force, this little Jacko that has, he's still here talking, wondering if they'll be able to recognize her and actually do a 3D red rumming brutalization. That's their go-to, and that's what they want. So this intelligent animal failed to strip from you your life of luxury that you have earned through graduating an impossible life path that these ones had you on. These low vibrational hybrids, intelligent animals, thought that this Empress would never, ever, ever come up out of that grave that they put her in. But the Empress happens to be an upper dimensional being connected to Source Creator. But not their creator. They're not connected to the creator that this Empress is creating. They're a whole different species. A whole different mad scientist experiment calling itself superior. They're having anxiety. They have to go deal with all of the animals that they have sacrificed. They themselves are part animal. It could be that they've been, there's like, man, they've been talking about, mummified remains. I mean, these guys have been digging up the dead and doing scientific genetic experiments on themselves, trying to create a race of people that God would never be able to conquer. And now they're drowning. They're going under. They're too freaking clever for their own good. Queen of Cups is emotionally stable and mature. She knows exactly that these entities from the other side are liars. They lie about every freaking thing. They're stuck in a rabbit hole. They're in a rabbit hole. They're in some crazy drama. This is their life. A bunch of clowns. You've got to see what I said? There's a man there wearing a pearl necklace presenting itself as a woman, and it's trapping those children on the other side. And what are they doing on the other side? They're running brothels and things to use this beautiful energy of these beautiful little children and these mothers that are trapped over there. They're wearing their little clown suits. You're battle worn. It's time for you to heal, Queen of Wands. You're not dealing with this triangular, this triangular vanity trap of sexuality of this other species that somebody pulled up out of a freaking phantom book. We've got never ending. It's not ending for them. Like this, you're not dealing with it. This is not your responsibility. They freaking called it up. They freaking called it up, and now it's not, it won't end. They can't get it to stop. You're not helping them. You're like, look, man, I'm living my life. You guys go deal with your own crap. But they thought for sure they were going to try to force this boogeyman on you, and you were going to have to carry it for the rest of eternity. And now they get to deal with the boogeyman because they refuse to stop calling it up, bringing it forth. Their cup is still empty, and you're leaving this snake behind with an empty cup. Two of Pentacles, they're juggling life. Oh no, they want to compromise, forgive, work it out. This is an intelligent animal. It's been genetically spliced. They're not a starseed. So this is an animal life form that has been genetically modified here by mad scientists playing with with the genetics of the living, of all species. And they've been splicing and dicing and combining them. And then they go out and speak proper words of love and union, while they then sacrifice them to the other side, because the other side is where they're doing all their genetic experiments, and they need to harvest beautiful mother type figures and energies so that they could fix what they broke. You're the antidote to their stupidity. So we've got an adventure here. Somebody's expecting, it could be lies. Somebody's expecting lies. Somebody's expecting lies. You're watching out for lies. Escape. Somebody's telling lies. Somebody's saying they're pregnant, trying to escape this. So somebody's saying they're pregnant. Let's look up lies. Take a look. Things are not as they seem. Question authority. They're looking for an escape. So somebody is lying. They're saying that they're pregnant because they want you to give them access to your destiny path. That's a lie. They're not pregnant. Empress, something is happening very swiftly. She's taking direct action regarding health, according to her experiments of being fed upon and treated like an animal. So we've got reaching. Somebody's reaching out here, trying to connect, and love is eluding them because they're in a 5 of Wands energy. They want you to open your heart, and they want to fight with you. They want you to open your heart so they can continue fighting with you. You're a warrior. And they're grieving because it didn't work out the way that they had planned. So yeah, they were bringing you chaos. It could be that your heart is open and that you're able to saw your way through immediate problems with the love that is in you. And they're grieving. It didn't work out. It's like they thought that they were going to be your source of love. And they thought that if they drained you of all of your comfort, of all of your love, if they broke your heart, shattered your world, that this confused sexuality, interspecies, whatever the hell this is, this invader species from some other dimension that isn't all about a mother and a father. They're different species. They live differently. They do not think the same. They have a whole different set of moral and ethical boundaries, and they don't have any. That's the thing. They bred it all out of themselves. They're like animals. They're animals, and they go around RAPing everything. It's disgusting. So, this is a completion of a cycle. The World card is here. Successful endings on this confused sexuality, these third-party triangular, it's a war on marriage brought in by these entities, this invasive species from another dimension that doesn't have the mother figure in it. They're leaving. They're leaving. This ascension is about them. They're leaving. They're taking flight. They got to go away. We've got empty. So we've got empty, and in the reverse, they're not allowed to empty your cup. They're not allowed to drink from your cup any longer. God said this is the end of their relationship with batteries. They're no longer allowed to drink from your cup. They're being removed. They're being removed. They're going under. They're drowning under their own guilt, under their own actions, under their own deeds. That this web that they've been working with, they're drowning in their own web. They want forgiveness. Everything they built on your love and your energy is crumbling, and they got to face it. They didn't see this coming. They left you alone on the dark side. And you picked up the pieces from them playing games with love and making life difficult for you, leaving you in the dark all by yourself, siphoning all your energy and all your comfort. They neglected you. They wanted to use you as an exit plan, and now you're leaving. Now you're leaving because they ignored the needs of many flames, being childish. And look, there's the cat coming in and being aggressive with these weed seeds that weren't willing to settle down and be responsible, crushing them under the weight of this magnificent diamond, this biggest diamond in the world, going to come down with every freaking facet and crush them, secretly burning you from a distance and making life struggle. This snake is struggling. Wherever they are, they're struggling. They're in hell. They're in hell because they could not steal your heaven. That's it. They wanted you in hell, but you refused to die. They could not sacrifice you with their magic. The only way that they have to stop you from living your life and coming into the future that God has designated for you is to identify you in the 3D and then to maliciously attack you and to tear your flesh away from your soul and your spirit. And that's their intention. So be very careful because they're still out there sneaking around. And because our faces have been on the internet, they can come right in and try to matchy identify and slip in, you know. But we've got the Most High God isn't going to let that happen. They're going to get their asses handed to them. The Divine Mother said to be prepared. They won't survive. So they're going to come in and they're going to try. But this Divine Mother isn't as weak as these men, these fraudulent, invasive species thought she was. Of course, they have no experience with her because they're not born of the womb and they don't have any relationship to the mother. And we've got a lot of masculine species, this invasive species out there. They love cornhollying each other. The only thing they use the mother for is procreation, and the rest of the time they're hitting her with their stupid little clubs, portraying themselves, I'm God. Oh, no, you're not. You're worse than a freaking animal. You don't even like your own children. You rape them, you stupid fuck. Excuse my language. And they hate the mother because she despises them for what they are. What they do to the children. In the name of religion. It's my right. It's my right. It came from my loins. I can F it if I want to. So they're upset because they're not getting what they want. They were committed to cursing the divine feminine, and now everything you no longer need is making room for the love that you deserve. It's falling away. Somebody's broken and shattered. Whoever this person is that tried to curse you and your commitment, your future marriage, they're broken and shattered, and let them be. Just let them be. Nightmare. They're in a freaking nightmare of their own choosing, of their own creation. They're suspicious of everybody because they know that they're all freaking intelligent animals. None of them are star seeds. None of them are connected to the creator, to the source of all things. They're freaking a coven of sociopaths with broken minds, and they've lost. They've lost, and they're running away. They're running. They failed to take your comfort, your life of luxury, your future, your ability to breathe in the light of the sun. So that cycle is over. Now this intelligent animal is having anxiety because they need money. And the mother is got the womb of power, the rainbow covenant with God, planetary dominion, the wealth of all things, and she is here to birth life and to nurture life. And God has given her all of the funding that and the stuff she needs to do that. And you got these sexually confused, interdimensional, invasive species presenting as men, trying to steal all of the power of the Empress's womb, and then abuse the source-connected mental body of a high priestess of this beautiful, these daughters of Eden is what I've heard them say, the daughters of Eden. These people have been doing genetic experiments and all of that on the daughters of Eden. And they've been trying to create a new species. This animal genius. So she's being careful of these liars being sneaky from the other side. They're in a rabbit hole. They sabotaged themselves. They were trying to sabotage her, the love of the mother. The mother, eventually you have to say stop, because that as sweet as they speak, they're coming up to feed, and they really don't give a crap about you. They've got, their minds are broken. They've got this very corrupt way of thinking. They don't have any empathy. They're not capable of feeling love. They genetically spliced this stuff out of them. Like they took out all of the qualities that connected them to source divine. And they screwed up. And this Empress is the antidote, according to this curator who traffics them and sells them for their energy. He thinks that the womb power of the divine feminine is the antidote to their stupid genetic experiments. She's the one who makes their life okay. And they decided to brutalize her and do more experiments, and it's just over now. Now they're stuck with what they've done to themselves. These habitual patterns, offering roses in the shadows just so they can devour you. This is stupid. Roses in the shadows, they don't know that they'll ever change. They won't ever change. They're reading these little curses out of this book like they're nighttime stories. They use the energy and the purity of their children to call these boogeymen up. Now they have to deal with it, and it's never ending. It's like it won't end. It could be that they're not able to bring you an end. They're not able to end you with whatever boogeyman they've been calling up from the other side. But they have to deal with it now because they won't stop. They're juggling something. Two of Pentacles. They want to communicate. They want to compromise. This is a combination. This is a hybrid species. It's an intelligent animal who has broken every single promise that they have ever made and neglected everybody who was ever a benefit in their life. And then they called themselves superior because they were able to brutalize those people who were being kind and generous to them. They could dominate the kind and generous people, so they decided that they were superior. And now those kind and generous people are done serving them. It's over. God said, that's enough. Somebody is here looking for an opportunity. They're going to say that they're pregnant, but it's a lie. They're trying to use your love as an escape, but they don't appreciate the beauty that you bring to this world. The Empress is here taking direct action regarding health based on her experiences with these ones. She knows the herbs and the sacred medicines that help give the temple housing the spirit and soul protection over these attacks. They're reaching out for love, but they're not able to connect. They want to tap into your energy of love to use that in their magic so that they can use your energy to trap you. See, it's like semen. If they can tap your energy, they can curse that energy and then bind you with it, right? I mean, that's what they've been doing. These creatures from the other side have been using twisted magic, forbidden magic, to do this stuff to the living, to the mother, to the actual Empress and High Priestess. They've been doing it to the masculine too, but it sounds to me like there's been infiltration into all statuses of authority regarding the masculine. And I really feel that any feminine that has been allowed to have a position of status is either a he, she that's part of this, they're part of this, or they're a puppet, a clone that's willing to do as told, you know, for a few shekels, a few little, the opportunity to be an influencer or whatever. So they don't appreciate you. Somebody's going to lie about being pregnant. It could be that somebody has lied about being pregnant, that it was a false pregnancy. It could be that this is what they've been doing. They've been wearing those fake baby bumps while growing their scientific, their genetic experiments, and one of them birthing pods or whatever. It could very well be that. The Empress is here taking swift action about the health of the body according to her experiences of being fed upon. They're reaching out for love. We've got unfinished business here. Love is eluding them. They think we still have things to resolve and discuss. And it's like, oh no, we don't. They've been being very aggressive. Your heart is open and you're a warrior. They're grieving. It did not work out the way that you imagined. They came up to your open heart and they decided there are 5 men here whacking this Empress in the head with a freaking stick, trying to beat her down. Her heart is open. She's this beautiful love and she's protected. She is now protected. These masculines who've been brutalizing her are now grieving because she's got a magnificent warrior and they're going to get effed up. Their whole freaking world is going to get effed up. When I woke up this morning, somebody said you deserve the name hell because they cannot control you. No, they're going to get effed up. The whole freaking, all these little creatures, these intelligent animals who've been trying to take out the mother, they're going to get effed up. Their only hope is to come at her in the 3D and render her useless. That's our only hope because their magic is inferior to the original organic mother and her connection to Source Divine. That's it. They can't. All of them together, all of these intelligent animals together could not eliminate or stifle the growth of this beautiful Empress. Their minds are broken. They can't think straight. They've been fed a lie. They're overwhelmed and stressed out. They're grieving. Overwhelmed and stressed out because you never gave up hope for your masculine counterpart. You know, you got these show-offs, these little entities pretending to be men. They're masquerading, walking around in the image of God, but they're worse than animals because they don't even care for their young. They hate their young. They'll eat them, sacrifice them to some demon. They don't give a shit. They think if they can consume the Empress that they'll be just like her. And they can fool the world into believing that they actually don't eat the young. Their own young. So this is a completion of that cycle. These confused sexuality, these triangular unions that have been harvesting energies out of the divine feminine, these men, this invasive species portraying themselves as men coming to destroy the womb of power in the mother. They're leaving. They're going to take flight. They're getting sucked up off of this planet. They're going to be going away. Exit stage freaking left. And your cup is empty. You will not be able to empty the cup of divine feminine. It's done. And you're not taking part in this reunion. There will be no reunion. The soul contracts with these genetic experiments have ended. That was yesterday's read. There's no more soul contracts with the Empress, the Divine Mothers, the Daughters of Eden, and these genetic experiments who've been feeding on them, portraying themselves as men. That's it. They're done. They're out of here. God is done with them abusing the image of and trying to destroy the womb of power that is in Rainbow Covenant. These are low reflection. They have no light in them. They're from the other side. They're dwelling in darkness. These are third-party hoe bags. They got to come up and have sex with people in order to harvest energy and keep themselves from decomposing. They thought it was a lot of fun. They're like, woo, woo, woo. And now they're feeling the damage. They're unsatisfied with the way this has went. And it's too late for these prideful, egotistical people to do anything about it. It's done. It's done. It's done. They're still chasing after those who love themselves, though. Those who have the love that can heal themselves to love themselves to health. Yeah, because they made mistakes with reciprocity. You gave them 10 cups and they gave you 10 swords with a big old bag of shit. And you're like, nope, that's enough. They're getting detached out of your space. Do not come into the space. They're not permitted. And they're in regret and want to mend the connection. But they missed their opportunity to have a soul contract with you. A responsible, familial soul contract. They don't know what to do. They've been found guilty of messing with you, trying to destroy the womb of power, and this is an unexpected outcome, and now they want forgiveness. These women, these men, these chicks with dicks or whatever, they lie about pregnancy. They're not able to have, so they have pod babies. Or they have surrogate mothers. They use the power of the womb of a surrogate mother to pretend while they're running around with their baby bump, getting filmed. Oh, your baby bump is so cute. Freaking pod babies. Freaking pod babies. Genetic experiments that cannot feel. They don't have any compassion or anything for life. They're being raised to break promises and neglect those people that they make promises to. And now they want to compromise, work it out, forgive. And it's like, are you kidding me? You've had centuries to do this. This is obviously a trait of your species, and you can't just change it because you, for what, 6,000 years now? It's been very, very clear that this is their favorite weapon of war, and they're not going to change. They won't. This is their way of life. They were given an opportunity to improve their lineage, but rather than procreate, they decided to just eat, endlessly consume. And because their darkness was already dark, the more light that they consumed, the greater that darkness became, because they had to cast the illusion of balance, right? So the greater their darkness, the more light they consumed. The more light they consumed, the greater the darkness inside of them became. And now that they've been stripped of that light, they can't feed anymore. They're left with this massive pit of darkness in themselves that they created by refusing to do the shadow work, by insisting that they were just going to consume the womb of power. So we've got somebody here broken and shattered. It could be a chick with dick. It could be a copycat. It could be a genetic experiment. Take it as it resonates. But they're paranoid now because they're in ruins. Everything that they did is in ruins. They cursed commitment. They cursed relationship. They cursed marriage and union and family. They'll never get it back. They will never get it back. God said, you will never give it back. They cursed. They tried to eternally curse love, family, generations of lineages. And that's their reward. Their intentions are their gift. It's simple. It's not an act of, oh, I think you need to be punished. It's like, no, this is what you did. And this is what you get. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. The rule of KISS. They're getting cast away. They're in a nightmare. They're paranoid. They have to go deal with who they are, and they're furious about your alliances or their alliances. It could be they're furious that your alliances have done their research and have decided that you're worth saving. You are worthy of having a family and eternal love. You have persevered through this network, bringing you nothing but natural disaster, and they've been using their prayers to do it. They've been using their prayers to try to bring death to your family tree. They wanted to rob you of everything. But now it's time for all of that magic to go back on them. And now they want to compromise because they're losing their clairs, their clairaudience, their clairvision, everything, all of their clairs are going away, and that's justice. They're going through withdrawals. They're going to be rejected because they've been using their clairs to gain other people's promise and their reward. You kept your cool, you remained peaceful, and therefore you triumphed over this disturbance that these dominators were bringing to you. Now they're in danger. They're in danger. They're losing their freedom for bullying you, the gift that was committed to helping them make their dreams come true. You are the sweetheart, and they did their very best to make you sick. And now they're protesting. They're protesting. The coach told us to do it. They told us to do it. The coach said that if we did this, we could have your reward. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Now they're overwhelmed and overloaded because of all of the curses that they put upon marriages. They fell into a trap of indulgence, and now they're losing everything. Their real estate, their ability to strategize and read people's minds in order to come into real estate is ending. This is bullshit. They've been tapping into the collective consciousness, finding out who has property, who has a house, who has this beautiful business that's about to start. And then they would go in, they would lure them in with proper words of love, and then they would marry them, and then they would flip and copycat them and just take that comfort, that luxury, and stick them in the shadows somewhere. These third-party enemies whose favorite weapon of war is relationship and sexual encounter are going away. It's an invasive species. It's a genetic modification. There's no empathy. Their minds are broken. It's a coven of sadists. They like to cornholio people, and they're running around RAPing everybody and sodomizing them because that's their freaking thing. They're a coven of sadists. They love this shit. So now they're having a negative outlook. Things are getting very serious for those who cursed you and marriages. They're feeling broken and shattered about this because things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love you deserve. They're in ruins. They're being cast away. They're homeless. They could be living in their car. They're paranoid. They're having a nightmare. They can't sleep. The boogeyman is out to get them. This boogeyman that they refused to stop calling forth, they have to go deal with it. They were trying to curse your union with that boogeyman, and they kept calling more and more and more and more and more boogeyman up, and now they got to go deal with these boogeymen from the other side. They're stuck. This liar has sabotaged their own damn self. They're stuck on the other side in a rabbit hole. They tried to say that this Empress was from the other side. They tried to lay all of that chaos, that mental chaos, onto the mind of the Empress so that she would look like she was insane. But all she was experiencing was a severe attack from those who are insane. And they were pushing it into her mind. An anomaly. They're having a nightmare. They did this to you, a big freaking shining being. They tried to curse your marriage. They tried to curse your eternal love. An anomaly. They don't know what they're dealing with. And they called up the most powerful boogeyman from the other side that they could think of to try to destroy you. This invasive species of men, man-boy lovers, interdimensionally hopping here to try to take over the planet and the realm and all life on it and flip everybody into a man lover while brutalizing the womb of power, the mother. They're in a nightmare. And they're being cautious because they're suspicious of everybody. They know everybody's an intelligent animal. And they're a coven of sadists. And their minds are broken. They're paranoid. They're pointing at everybody. Look at them. Pointing at this sleeping person. Look at this. There's a little animal there with a human face. And you got this... And you got a sleeping woman there. And you got this masculine there pointing at her like it's all her freaking fault. Look at her. She's laying there. Look at her. What she's doing to me. Freaking whack job. A freaking whack job has lost. And now they're running. They're trying to run away from the freaking nightmare that they have created for themselves by toying with an anomaly. They don't even know what they're messing with. They're so stupid. So, something is going to appear and it will be hard not to notice or avoid it. It is strikingly clear that what you encounter will be abnormally good or perhaps abnormally bad. Either way, it will stand out in some way. The anomaly may appear if you are contemplating an event within a relationship. You may find yourself questioning if someone's behavior, good or bad, serves as an indication of who they truly are, or if the situation was a rare event and out of character. Now, these anomalies were buried on the other side, martyred to the other side. You survived. You had to get your light on in order to encompass the darkness that was trying to swallow you. So you're shining really, really bright. Here you are right here. And these ones are having a freaking nightmare. They're like, oh no, oh my God. What's this doing to me? Well, you got the anomaly on one side and you got this freaking boogeyman that you called up out of the depths of whatever freaking hellhole you've been playing in. Dummy. Dummy. Warning. Warning. They're running away. There's a warning here. They're being warned. They might be trying to give a warning. They're suspicious of everything. They're pointing at this sleeping woman. So there could be somebody that's out there that still has access to clairs that are pointing at a woman minding her own damn business, probably doesn't have any idea who this jackwagon is, but they see her shine and they're like, it's her fault, it's her fault, get her out of the world, oh, she can't be here. Fuck her. They failed to take your life of comfort, to destroy you, to bury you in hell. These men, this invasive species from another dimension that intended to flip the entire planet into the masculine, where half of them are chicks with dicks where the mother is kept 5 levels down in the underground in a cage and used for breeding and scientific experiments by intelligent freaking animals. Trickery. They're freaking trickery. They've been playing with the genetics of the mother for a long time, and they've been committing a lot of fraud. They did not take your life of luxury this round, Empress. This round, you have dominion of the planet. You're the magistrate, a dignitary. You are the mother. You're being allowed to pour your life into the world. You're being allowed to nurture and bring life to the world. These jackwagons can't feed on it anymore. It's an invasive species that's been feeding on the womb of power that is meant to nurture and pour life into the world, not be fed upon these creatures that are cursing you. They're trying to curse you and your shine. They want to keep your shine very, very low so that they can continue to mimic you, because if you're shining too brightly, they just can't present as you. So they have to make you suffer and bring you into this chaos so that they can then assume the identity of you. But here you are, Empress, completely in your Queen of Cups energy. You're balanced, you're emotionally stable, you're still very loving, your cup is way overflowing, and you're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're determined to live your life. You're battle worn and heavily battle worn, because you got this invasive species here trying to chew you up and spit you out. They've been doing a lot of trickery, trying to cast the illusion that you're a terrorist so they can continue to feed on you. These are animals whose values are all about money, and you've got, well, this came out. You're free of their routine. This over and back, playing with the devil thing. This other side. So Queen of Cups knows that these from the other side are liars. They were given the opportunity to collaborate, to improve their lineage, their genetics. And rather than procreate, they decided to capture, torture, and do scientific experiments using the energy from the womb of power, while stomping on the head of she who had and embodied the womb of power. Bastards. They sabotage them. These ghosts have sabotaged themselves. They will never be offered life again. They don't understand that. God said, never give it back. You will never give it back. You will never breathe life into these genetic experiments again. They're going away. They're being lifted off the planet. They're not allowed to drink from your cup anymore, and they're not allowed to reunite with you in any kind of a union. Their days of having a soul contract with the daughters of Eden are over. They will no longer try to chemically castrate or genetically modify the divine masculine. It's over. Bastards. It's time to heal. This Queen of Wands is going to whack you in the head with her stick. We've got someone else in the reverse. She's not going to take, she has not, and she will not take part in this triangular vanity trap. Looking for glory. All I got to do is tap the glory hole. They called up the big, big boogeyman from their little book of nighttime stories, and it's a habitual pattern that they'll never change. And now we've got ending. They can't bring you an ending. These someone else's will not be able to bring you an ending. Absolutely not. They cannot bring you an ending with this boogeyman, and their experience with this boogeyman might not ever end, because whatever they wanted for you is going to happen to them. They're in a nightmare. They're frightened. They're paranoid. They're homeless. They're cursed. Every relationship that they ever have will be cursed because of their negative influencing in the world. Smoking, drinking, cussing, flighting, effing, cheating, stealing, hurting, abusing. So now they're struggling with their balance, right? They're struggling with their balance. They want to compromise, forgive, work it out. This combination, these intelligent animals, these genetic scientific experiments, these geniuses, they broke all their promises. They broke your heart. They tried to destroy your spirit and gobble up your soul. They neglected you. They didn't give you any freaking thing. They didn't even share what they stole from you. They're being evicted out of the territory. They're here trying to get on your ship, right? They're saying that they're pregnant, but it's lies. It could be that their pregnancy is lies. It's all lies. They're trying to use love as an escape route. They don't appreciate the beauty that you're offering them. So their curiosity, there's curiosity here. They're being watched. Everything that they do, every web they try to weave is being observed. Any kind of astral projection or intrusive presence in another person's home, especially when you don't know them, it's being watched. They're going to try to stalk somebody and then go in and have an intimate encounter and then try to say that they're pregnant. It's a lie. These are dead people. The Empress is here taking rapid action regarding health. According to her experiences here, somebody's reaching out, trying to connect to love, and it's like, no, absolutely not. Because these people are only interested in feeding on the Empress, on the womb of power. They're only interested in feeding on it. They want to chain you up and F you up and continue to drain the freaking life out of you. This is their experience, and the Empress has figured out how to stop them from being able to do that with specific natural medicines and other practices. So it could be that she's taking action right now regarding health based on her experiences and what will protect the temple and the spirit and soul in it from these attacks from the other side. They're offering resistance. They're resisting. They are resisting. They're reaching out, trying to connect. You're resisting these self-interested people because you know that they want to feed on you. So you're offering resistance. Whatever swift action you're taking regarding health and throughout this experiment, it's going to offer resistance for those who are interested in eating you. Like I mentioned, that St. John's wort, not only does it kind of settle the energies, and I think that it settles the energies because it is a protective herb against these from the other side and this dark magic. I think that's why it works, because it is a protective herb. So, you know, I mean, for that reason and that reason alone, people should have that herb in their body, especially with this kind of crap going on. Don't forget to drink your water. So we've got 5 of Wands here. Somebody wants you to open your heart to them. They want you to fight. You are a warrior. They did not think you were a warrior. They thought you were just this sweet little person who is going to pour forever your love into them. They did not think that you were going to recognize them as the invasive species that they are, bringing war to your heart, to your love, to your womb. They're grieving. It didn't work out the way they had hoped. They're stressed out and overwhelmed because you have hope of a mustard seed, faith of a mustard seed, hope of a mustard seed. It's like it's really, really tiny, but you have the hope of this magnificent family tree, and you know it's possible, and you're going for it. You hope for it. You haven't given up. You're still doing it, even though you got these invasive species presenting as a man coming in wanting to whack you in the head. You're moving forward because you know God's got this. He's bringing a completion of this cycle with these confused sexual deviants, making war with the womb of power belonging to the mother. They're being released. They want you to open your heart, but you're fighting them. You're like, I'm gonna cut you up with my freaking chainsaw. You better get the F out of my energy. You never gave up hope for this. So we got release. You're releasing them. They're grieving because you're releasing them. You're letting them go. No longer will you cover them in your energy. No longer. This mother isn't going to provide any services. She's not going to feed them. She's not going to clothe them. She's not going to house them. She's not going to make sure that they have anything that they need at all, because she did try to love them desperately, and they desperately tried to bury her in the deepest, darkest pit of hell ever. And leave her there with this boogeyman that they've been calling up from the deepest depths. No. So now this is a completion of that cycle with these confused sexual triangular deviants creating war in this world with their favorite weapon called relationship with the daughters of Eden. They're getting lifted off the planet. They will not be able to empty your cup. And they will not be able to come in for a reunion. They will not ever have another soul contract with any of God's children. Whether they want it or not, it's not going to be permitted because of what has happened here. You know, and these guys want to brutalize the Empress because they can't break her. And they can't break her because God said, don't touch her. But they're still trying to, because they don't believe in God. They think it's just her making up these stories or whatever. But she's an anomaly. She's an anomaly who had their ability to have commitment cursed. They cursed this Empress's ability to have union. They're being released. She's not going to support them anymore. She gave them the world, and they cursed her with an absence of all kinds of love or any kind of support whatsoever. So God said she was too forgiving, and she's never going to give that luxury back to them, even if she had pity for them. Forgiveness now means release. Forgiveness now means to get rid of this threat that has caused so much damage to the beautiful mother and all of her aspects, and those children that came from her. Those little boys, those little girls. They've been exposed. They still think they're in charge. They still think all they got to do is go out there and find you because they got your face and they know where you're at. They've got your license. They've got your state. They know what your car looks like. They know where you work. They know when you work. They know everything. But you are protected. There will be wrath coming for anybody who dares tap into your gifts. They're done here. We're going in a new direction where the children can play without worrying about some masculine coming in and dominating them and cornholing them. Out. You know, and they say proper words. Oh, and you know, the sad thing is they're actually calling people by name. Like they have the right to call on people and demand their attention and their response and their service to what's going on with them. These people who don't even have the they don't even identify themselves. And yet they're demanding service from the anomaly who they have cursed with aloneness. This person, this Empress, they cursed her with homelessness, with sickness, with addictions. They poisoned everything. The food, the water. They ran toxicity. This stupid, intelligent animal with the ability to run soap opera, this verbiage, this Microsoft Wi-Fi freaking program through the mental body of the transmitter receiver, the delicate instrument of the divine. This Empress is here to collect the information from the heavens and then to manifest it here in the world. And you got these people here wanting to punish her because of the instruction that the divine is bringing into this atmosphere. And you got religion out there saying the devils have been released. And it's like, no, man, God's sending his cleanup crew because we've got sexual deviance, invasive species here trying to flip all of the masculines into women and trying to bury all of the empresses into 5 stories down underground and use them for genetic experiments. It's bullshit. Anybody who's calling God's cleanup crew demons doesn't believe in God. They don't believe in God. They do not believe in, not in the same God that's walking with this Empress, not in the same God that has rainbow covenant with this Empress. They don't believe in the same God that has blessed the womb that they have been raping. They don't believe in that God. And now they're getting effed up by that God. He's had enough. So these men, they're walking around. They're like, can you identify her? Thinking they're going to go do a 3D tragedy. They want to rend the body. They want to tear it up and make her bleed and suffer. And God has already stated that their intentions shall be their gift. They're going to get effed up. Probably for even thinking about it. So they're in a nightmare. They got to be cautious. They're paranoid. This is a coven of sadists with broken minds. They're dancing. They're doing the freaking dance. They have lost you access to your power, access to your energy. Therefore, they can't bind you and they can't use that energy to curse you or anybody else in the world. They're being warned. They've received a freaking warning. They need to surrender their need to control you. They need to stop effing around. Stop. They're in a freaking nightmare. They're not taking your life of luxury. They're not taking the Most High God's reward for this, for your survival, mother. You survived the brutality of an invasive species presenting itself as a man made in the image of God. They've got religions all over the freaking world, and every single one of them got to get the hammer down on this freaking Empress. Squash that freaking Empress. Freaking animals. And they're not even intelligent. I mean, they call them intelligent, but they're not clever. They're really not clever. They're just brutal. Animals. Trickery. Trickery for money. They're having anxiety around the services that you provide because they're not going to get them. This is done. You're here in service. This life of luxury, these 9 pentacles that the Most High God has given the Empress are to be utilized for the family. And you got these twisted sexual freaking deviants out here. They want to take everything that the Most High God has given the mother to pour out onto the family, and they want to go and then use it for their scientific and genetic experiments. They want to create their own species of human, and they don't like the womb. They don't like this woman carrying around this womb of power. They don't, she's too strong, she's too powerful, and they're afraid of her. because they know what they will do with her energy. But she doesn't do anything like that. She does the exact opposite with her energy. The energy that she produces, that she commands, that she brings balance, love and passion and fire to. She's the one who pours life into the world. And you got these intelligent animals out there who figured out a way to siphon it out of her and then to do genetic experiments and create their own damn species who will help them destroy the mother. All they got to do is go out with their appendage and stab people with it. Freaking jerks. They're envious. These ghosts are envious of the mother who brings life. So they wanted to stuff the mother into the realm of death and make her stay there and pour her life into them. She's battle worn. It's time for her to heal. Queen of Wands. She's got all this fire, all this life-giving energy that she has fortified and increased by surviving the dark brutality of this deviancy, this negative influence that they tried to force this negativity, smoking, drugging, drinking, sexing, negative self-talk, self-loathing. They tried to force in some kind of gluttony. I was at the Saturday market one time, and I got this little tiny piece of like 100% rose chocolate. It was so good. So I'm walking around, I'm eating this little tiny piece of chocolate, and I hear one of these masculines, these big authoritative masculines, say that I was decadent. Decadence. I'm eating a little tiny piece of chocolate, and they snarl and spit the word decadence, as though I am so extremely foul for daring to eat a little tiny piece of organic, homemade, 100% chocolate. It's like, are you kidding me? So they want the mother never to enjoy a little tiny piece of chocolate. No, she needs to be 5 levels down in that underground in a cage, and she needs to be poked and prodded and freaking stabbed with a needle and genetically modified. These people are sick. They're not people. They're not freaking people. They're not people. I mean, they may have started out as a person, but they're not anymore. They're genetically modified, and I'm sorry that what they were has been lost. They're calling this Empress the antidote to their stupidity. And it's not fair to her. She's here to bring life. She's not here to drag them up out of their own stupidity, while their own stupidity and their this bloated idea of their self-importance continues to try to crush her. She tried to bring you healing, man. She tried to bring you healing. And you decided to consume her. That's it. No more. You're not going to be ending the life of the mother with your stupid triangular vanity traps. She's free of you. She's free of your negative influences. She's free of your habitual patterns, these shady practices you got going on. She's free of you. Juggling, 2 of Pentacles. They got all these things going on now. They're like, wait, please forgive me. Let's work it out. These are scientific experiments. They've lost their sense of humanity. They speak proper words of love and all of that. They know how to play the role, but they break all of those promises and then neglect everything within the territory. They got to get out. They can't be here. They're a threat to society. They're a threat to society. Now, I'm sorry that your mad scientist decided that this was this God game, this whatever the hell. You thought it was a great idea. God's not going to let you have this energy. It's too potent. And you nearly destroyed the world with it last time you trapped it. You're not going to have it again. You're getting out. You're leaving. You can't be here. Using this beautiful, potent, fabulous freaking womb of power in your genetic experiments. No, you will not destroy God's creation in this Empress. You will be destroyed. They tried to destroy her empathy. This territory, they got to get out of the territory. And that's because they know what they've been doing. Both sides of the line, in the dark and in the light. God knows exactly what you've been doing. And because he has empathy for this mother, for she who brings life from that womb of power, these other invasive species with bringing forth this confused sexuality and transing the men, you know, chemically castrating them and turning them into chicks with dicks. This is fucked. And those people who don't want to do that, they send them off to some other freaking land so that they can die there and be a wandering spirit and far, far a freaking way from home. And that is coming to an end. This is bull. They wanted to eliminate divine masculine and replace them with their own species. They were trying to genetically modify everybody by poisoning the food system. They've been doing so terrible. You know, we got our masculines. They've got low testosterone. We've got our women. They can't have a successful pregnancy. They've been chemically castrating everybody. They did not want humanity. They did not want any life coming from this Empress, from this divine mother, from this divine daughter of Eden. This is her home. And these mutant masculines have been here prostituting the womb of power and using that energy to cast their magic. Using her signature to cast horrible freaking magic and try to frame her as a terrorist. Somebody's looking for an opportunity. They could be that they're pregnant and it's a lie. They're using your love as an escape route. They're trying to. They have no appreciation for the beauty or the kindness that you offer. They've been observing you. They've been spying on you, astral projecting to your place. They want to come in, they want to tag you. They want to have sex with you. There's no love in them. There's no love in them. And this lie, this pregnancy, it's a lie. It's not really a pregnancy. So I've got Empress here taking quick action regarding health, because health issues could arise. So based on her experiments of being feasted upon and abused by these ones, it looks to me like she's introducing perhaps some different substances which could offer protection from these kinds of attacks. The Mother Nature's herbs that are protective from these types of things. These self-interested consumers of her children, the light-filled anomalies, they've been feeding on them. They've been feeding on the little anomalies that are going through their transformation and becoming the big freaking bird. They might start out as a little mouse, but they're going through transformations and earning their freaking wings. And you got these people coming in, freaking consuming them before they have the opportunity to go through that transformation, to step into their power. So the Empress is here, and it looks to me like she's introducing new herbal solutions to prevent the opportunity for these ones to feed on the essence of the temple, the flesh suit. She knows what they've been doing. She's experienced it herself. Look, they're worried. They're worried. They know that they have been here being very aggressive with your open heart, but you're a warrior and you're protected by a warrior. They're overwhelmed and freaking out about your warrior. Your protection is got them grieving. You never gave up on this union, and your person or your family is releasing this combination, this invasive species. They're being released from the territory because they took everything and then they neglected everything. They made vows and promises, contracts and treaties, and that was only an excuse to remain in the energy while they successfully did their best to exterminate them. They use forgiveness and contracts as an excuse to exterminate the one that they're contracted to. It's their favorite weapon of war, this relationship, this approval, this invitation to work with, to collaborate. They want to use your energy to destroy you. They don't have any of their own energy. They have to harvest it from you. They're being released. And they're in regret. They wish it had never happened, but it did. It's who they are. It's what it is. And it just is. This is a completion of this cycle. The world has turned. The whole world. We got this sexuality. It's an invasive species, and they're going to be lifted off the planet. They're taking flight. You know? So we've got some folks who kind of fell into that trap. They're not allowed to empty your cup. They're choosing this. They want that. These men, they want to go be together. They can't tap the womb of the Empress. They cannot have access to the womb of power when their intention is to destroy it. They will not be reunited with Divine Feminine. They will not be permitted to empty her cup. They have been exposed. And they're desperate. They're desperate to identify this Empress in the 3D so they can rend her temple useless or defile it extremely and destroy her energy and her life of luxury. They weren't able to do it with their magic. They weren't able to do it from the unseen. Now they got to go get their hands dirty. They got to send somebody in to take her out. We've got denial in the reverse, though. So they've been exposed and they can't deny it. There's no denying what they have done here. There has been sufficient evidence gained through surviving these torturous, traumatic events. This is an abundant, limitless being who can manifest whatever they want in this physical reality. This Empress's mind is magnificent, and they did their best to destroy her mind. Now, for me, they poured acid into my spiritual mind. They did little cuts. They were dragging sandpaper through it. They tried to separate both hemispheres and just create chaos on both sides. They did their best to destroy the minds of empresses and high priestesses because they didn't want God to recognize them. They wanted God to recognize them as the terrorist of this soap opera, freaking verbal interference that they kept driving through the mind. This Empress is here for relationships that serve the higher good, to elevate and bring forth energies and frequencies of happiness. She is trustworthy. She is connected to Source Divine, those upper dimensional vibrations, entities, frequencies, friendships. Trustworthy. There's a change in adversity. Those who bring adversity to her, blaming her for what it is they're doing. There's a change in that. They have to accept responsibility for their own damn self and their own foul deeds. They can no longer lay that onto the womb of this mother and pretend that it was her all along. They've been harvesting the womb energy and then going out and having orgies and then coming back in the midnight hour and landing it back on her, trying to frame her as being a prostitute. The woman has probably been celibate for decades. And you got these nasty jacks and all their little copycat wannabes out there playing in the energies from an unseen state, calling themselves clever and freaking intelligent, when all they are is a nasty jack with freaking magical information that they should never have had access to because they're so low vibrational. It's an intelligent animal with access to forbidden magic that they've been using, trying to curse the actual original source connected divine mothers. They wanted to trap that womb of power and use it. Peace is being restored. Patience. All the negative energy is being released. And they're in grief. They're having doubt. They have to accept what they cannot change. You are disciplined and you're in your purpose. It could be that your purpose is to bring discipline. As the mother, what does the mother do with her young children? She enforces the right and the wrong, or the acceptable and the unacceptable, while allowing them to be all that they can be, you know, in a good way. So now they want forgiveness. But you have grown in consciousness and awareness. You bring a perfect state of harmony and balance wherever you go. You are the source of lightweight frequencies. And these ones are guilty. They are guilty of trying to affect your health, and they have failed because you take such good care of the vessel that enshrines your soul. And so that's what I was thinking here with the health thing. I think the Empress, she's discovered everything, all these herbs, the mother's medicines that brought her temple homeostasis during this severe attack. And I think she's trying to implement it here so that she can, the temples that are housing the other spirits and souls within her family, her community, can offer resistance to this feeding frenzy that's been going on. So I hear through the grapevine that there's changes to the food pyramid. There's changes to the medicine because these entities have been using the synthetic medicine as a connector and bridge to the temple and to the consciousness. And they feel that anybody using these synthetic medicines is their possession. So there is an effort to change this health care system because this Empress wants her family to be able to resist being a food substance for these entities that feed on them. I'm going to go ahead and leave this message here. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Have a beautiful day. If it gets too stressful, walk away. Choose your energy is the advice that I would give for today. Choose the energy that you wish to dwell in. And if somebody is trying to force chaos into your toroidal field and into your mind, into the waters of your vessel, your temple, I would suggest leave. Choose your energy, what it is you wish to embody, and don't accept any gifts of chaos that somebody else is trying to force you to carry, because they may be trying to offload some kind of karmic debt if they are involved in this in any way. All right. Love you all. I wish for you balance and peace and a family that keeps their promises and loves you regardless of those things that you feel are unlovable.